Why is one of the greatest pitchers of this generation calling the Cardinals Bush League? This is Locked On Cardinals.
You are Locked On Cardinals, your daily St. Louis Cardinals podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey there, Cardinals fans. I'm JD Hafron, and I am your host for Locked On Cardinals, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, covering your team every day. Follow me on X at JD Sports Radio, as well as the podcast at LO_Cardinals. We're on YouTube. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. Hit that notification button so you don't miss out on things. We're on TikTok and Instagram at Locked On Cardinals. This is a show serving Cardinal Nation and giving the best fans in baseball all of the info about the birds on the bat. Today's episode is brought to you by GameTime. Download the GameTime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. So the St. Louis Cardinals just had a fine series against the Dodgers, taking 2 of 3. Yay! But they did lose on Sunday, which, kind of put a little bit of a damper on the festivities a little bit. It's weird how you do win 2 of 3, but because you lost the last one, it kind of leaves a bad taste in your mouth. Kind of like you lost the series, even though you didn't. Cardinals didn't lose this series. They won 2 of 3, 3-3 on this homestand right now against the Royals and the Dodgers, with the Blue Jays in town for the next few. And one of the big reasons why they lost on Sunday was because of Clayton Kershaw. Clayton Kershaw, obviously one of the best pitchers, we've seen. The future Hall of Famer was outstanding in what could be his final start in St. Louis. We don't know what the future holds for Clayton Kershaw. We're not sure where he's going to end up. Like if he's just done, is he finished being a Major League Baseball player? I don't know. I don't know. This could be his last year, though. He's been dancing around retirement for a couple of years now, but he keeps coming back. And with the way the Dodgers are built, I don't really blame him for wanting to come back. I mean, why wouldn't you want to try to snag a couple of rings before you head to the Hall of Fame? Why not? So I get it. But after his performance on Sunday, which again was outstanding, he looked great. He had some choice words for what was happening before the game. What was happening before the game? All right. So reporting done here by Katie Wu from The Athletic. She says, prior to Sunday's series finale, the Cardinals played a throwback video of Matt Adams' go-ahead 3-run home run in Game 4 of the 2014 National League Division Series, one that was hit off Kershaw. The homer ultimately clinched the series for St. Louis, which beat the Dodgers 3-2 to advance to the National League Championship Series. The video played on loop for several minutes before starting lineups were announced. And apparently Kershaw did not like this, telling reporters after the game, I think it's a little Bush League, but I don't expect anything less from these guys, so it's no worries. Well, hello. Hello there, Clayton Kershaw. I personally think that putting it on loop is a bit much. Maybe play it once to get the crowd going. Putting it on loop is a bit much, so I guess I can sympathize a little bit there. Not sure if the Cardinals game day production crew is known for doing stuff like this. I have no idea. The way Kershaw responded, you would think that they were like known trolls that are always trying to get under the skin of the opponent before a game starts. I honestly don't know that. I don't know if that's true or not, because when I'm at Busch Stadium and it's pregame, I'm usually chatting it up with friends and family, having a tall, cool Budweiser. I am not paying attention to what's going on the video boards or anything. Any of the pregame stuff, they usually got 800 people coming out on the field and catching a ball or getting recognized for something that they've accomplished. I'm not normally paying attention to that. I just am not. Shenanigans like that, I wouldn't even know if it happened or not. I mean, I'm not really paying attention until the national anthem starts. Usually that catches me off guard. I'm like, oh, we gotta go. And if I was, honestly, I feel like that would be more annoying as a fan too. Not just to Kershaw, but as a fan of the stands, I'd be like, why do they keep playing this? Have you ever had something like stuck on your computer on loop over and over and over, and you can't change it, and you keep hearing that same thing constantly. Like my wife does TikTok videos, and when she's like editing it and it keeps playing the same thing over and over, I want to take her phone and I want to chuck it into the river. You ever had a really bad song stuck in your head and you're just like, oh my gosh, I can't get it out of my skull? That's what it would feel like if that's what they were doing. So I guess that's what they were trying to do to Kershaw. But I don't know. As a fan, I'd be like, bro, stop already. That's enough. But there's a level of trolling that goes on from time to time. But to have it playing on repeat, that seems a little bit much. It was probably funny at first. I probably would have laughed at the beginning, but after like the third, fourth, and it kept going, I'd probably be like, all right, this is annoying. This is getting a little old. Either way, it didn't work. Kershaw went out and threw a gem against the Cardinals to pick up the win on Sunday and ruin the Cardinals' ambition of gaining a sweep over the defending champion. So it backfired. So my guess is they probably won't be doing such things quite to that extent from here on out. But I'm curious what you guys think. Am I just being too nice? Do you guys think this was too much? Do you think it was not a big deal? Is Kershaw being a big baby? Do you consider it Bush League? I don't know. I feel like there's part of me that thinks it's funny at first, but then because it was on loop, that it got a little bit of annoying. But I don't know. What do you guys think? I need your opinions on this. We're going to talk about the Cardinals offense and what transpired this weekend. Plus, I got power rankings to get to. And what is the Cardinals' most intriguing trade chip moving forward? Because we're talking about 2 months. Trade deadline's going to be here. Cardinals might have to make some decisions. So who would be that most intriguing trade chip moving forward? We'll talk about this and more coming up on Locked On Cardinals. Looking for a snack that's both delicious and nutritious? Then crack into a good source of protein with Wonderful Pistachios. Wonderful Pistachios, one of the highest protein nuts that you can get your hands on. Now, each 1 ounce serving going to hook you up with 6 grams of protein. It gives you over 10% of your daily value. Plus, they're packed with fiber and better for you unsaturated fats, which is going to help you feel fuller longer. If you've ever tried to lose weight, the problem is as soon as your tummy starts rumbling, you go and you just grab whatever is around. Well, we have a suggestion for you. Wonderful Pistachios. So when you're watching Cardinals baseball, when you're watching, the Stanley Cup Finals and the NBA Finals or the Battlehawks or whatever it is, TV shows, movies, grab a snack that is a smart snack. It's a good decision to put your hands into a bag of Wonderful Pistachios. They're super snackable. They're also good for you. Makes it real easy to get the quick protein boost that you want. Also provides all 9 amino acids, which is great as well while you're watching the big game. So you're putting good things into your body, and you're getting that snacking in that everybody does. Everybody does it. Anybody tells you they don't, they're lying. So get snacking and get cracking the right way. Do it with the snack that packs protein punch. Be sure to visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. Thanks again for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. Leave your comments on YouTube as well as on X anytime you want. Your feedback is always welcome and encouraged. Curious what you guys think about that Clayton Kershaw stuff. Anyway, let's move on. So after taking 2 of 3 from LA, Kershaw can't take the series from us. The Cardinals are sitting at a respectable 36-29 on the season, which is far better than where most people thought they'd be. And the offense has been a major reason why. And I wanted to kind of break down where the Cardinals are ranking and things and kind of give you a who's hot, who's not scenario as the Cardinals go into this new week of baseball at home against the Toronto Blue Jays, another interleague action series coming up here. So overall in the league, excuse me, the Cardinals are now 4th in team batting average at 258. 4th overall. Again, this is Major League. This is not just the National League. This is overall. Batting 258. They are 5th in hits. They're tied for 8th in runs. 4th in doubles. They are down. They're getting lower and lower in the home runs. Just 24th in home runs, but that's not how they're built. That's not something we expected them to be really good at. They're 9th in RBIs. They're 18th in walks, which it feels like they're a better team at taking walks. Maybe lately things have been a little bit different. Clearly, one particular Cardinal who is struggling has something to do with that, but we'll get to him in just a moment. But 18th in walks, but 24th in strikeouts, which is great. They're just not swinging and missing and striking out a whole lot. 23rd in stolen bases, which I wish they would become more of a running team. I mean, imagine where they'd be without Victor Scott. Like, they would have almost no stolen bases. They don't run much. 6th in OBP, 13th in slugging, 9th in OPS, 7th in batting with runners in scoring position, which is a huge jump from last year. That was a big issue. Splits-wise, because I've been seeing a lot of people talking about, okay, do we suck against lefties, or are we just really good against righties? Versus right-handers, they're second in the league in batting average at 266. The Dodgers, the only team ahead of them. They're 6th in OBP. They're 12th in slugging, 7th in OPS. So they like them some right-handed pitchers. Against lefties, I wouldn't say they suck. They dip quite a bit. They're more of a mid team where, like, they're very good against the righties and they're just kind of meh against the lefties. The batting average at 240, that's 16th. 10th in OBP. Again, league-wide, not National League, league-wide. 17th in slugging. Again, you're not hitting home runs, your slugging is going to be down. 13th in OPS. And recently, you've seen a lot of left-handers, haven't we? As far as, like, the starting pitchers. You know, teams seem to be stacking their left-handers against the Cardinals recently. Royals started 2. The Dodgers started 2. Monday night, they're going to get a right-hander, Jose Barrios. Tuesday, you get another righty in Chris Bassett. And on Wednesday, we don't know yet. To be determined. TBD so far for the Toronto Blue Jays, so I don't know. But my guess is if they're going to go with like a bullpen game or something like that, they might start a lefty. Because just looking at the stats, the Cardinals are better against right-handers than they are against lefties. That's just the facts right now. But that's some good news, at least the first 2 nights. You know, you get 2 back-to-back right-handers, and that's good. So hopefully they get off on the right foot to begin this series against the Blue Jays. So your top guys against the righties for the Cardinals so far this year: Brendan Donovan is hitting .353. Mason Wentz at .312. Ivan Herrera is at .312. Alec Burleson at .307. Joel Pozo, .273. Victor Scott, who's really been slumping. We're going to talk more about him in a little bit too. But is hitting .271 this year against the righties. Wilson Contreras is at .250. And if I saw it correctly, Wilson's like dead on .250 against righties and lefties, which is amazing. Shockingly, Lars Nootbaar only at .247, and then it trickles off and gets much worse after that. But over the last 7 days, here's who's hot, here's who's not for the Cardinals. Alec Burleson is on fire right now. .467 over his last 5 games. He's got a dinger. He's got 4 RBIs. He's creeping on batting .300 for the season, just out of nowhere. And we remember last year, he came out of the gate very similar. Came out of the gate a little bit cold, and then he started picking it up. And you've noticed that with more bats, he's hitting better, which makes you wonder if that would be something that would work out for our next guy here, Nolan Gorman, who I suspect will get some time against these 2 right-handers that are starting the next 2 games. 4 for his last 9 with a home run. And it sucks that these guys keep throwing lefties, and Gorman just cannot hit lefties. And Ali has to take him out of the lineup when they start a lefty. So, but he got a couple righties here. So hopefully we'll see him more, and hopefully he continues to get better. Pedro Paja has 4 for his last 10 with a homer. Wilson Contreras hitting .320 in his last 6 games with a homer and 7 RBIs. Nato's at .318 in his last 18 at-bats with 5 RBIs. So those are the guys that are doing well. Who's not? Victor Scott II is not hot right now. He's good looking man, but he is not hot at the plate. 0 for his last 12 with 5 strikeouts, and in his last 75 plate appearances, is batting just .141 with 1 RBI. He's only got 5 walks. He struck out 23 times. He's got 6 stolen bases. Again, when he gets on base, he's going to take off. He's going to run, but he is not getting on base nearly enough anymore. The 23 strikeouts is would love to see him be a little less aggressive maybe and take some more walks. I mean, you don't have to get a hit to get on base. You can take a walk. It's just as dangerous because you can turn a walk into a triple with Victor Scott the second speed. So, but he's been ice cold recently, and not having him is like that secondary leadoff guy at the bottom of the order is a big missing component that this offense would love to get back in the swing of things. You know, when this offense is going full blast, Victor's doing things at the bottom of the order, which is driving pitchers nuts. You know, after you get through like the first 5 or 6, and then you get to like whoever the catcher is that day, whether it's Pajes, whether it's Pozo, which I'm not trying to say they're easy outs, but they're not quite the hitters as everybody else. Then you get to Victor, and he's kind of like that new leadoff guy, and then it turns over again. The other guy that's not hitting so well right now is the primary leadoff man, and that's Lars Nootbaar, hitting just 174 over his last 6 games. And that's been an issue because, you know, having Lars Nootbaar be the guy in the leadoff spot, you know, I've said it over and over and over that as Lars Nootbaar goes, so does this offense. And it just has not been there for him recently. 174 in his last 6 games, no home runs, no RBIs, 7 strikeouts compared to 4 walks. So he's still getting walked, but the strikeouts, again, that's an issue. Kind of the same boat that Victor Scott's in. And when Newt's on, he's usually walking a ton, taking a lot of pitches, driving the ball for extra bases. He's got 0 extra base hits in his last 6 games. And in his last 24, he's got just 6 total, 3 home runs and then 3 doubles. But the alarming stat is the strikeouts for Lars Nootbaar. Newt leads the team in strikeouts over the last month with 31 whiffs. Second is Victor Scott with 25. The 31 strikeouts by Newt is the 4th highest strikeout total in the National League over that time span, over the last 30 days. He's 4th in strikeouts. Kyle Schwarber leads with 37, but we know that he's going to swing and miss a lot. He's a slugger. O'Neill Cruz is at 35. He strikes out a lot, always has, probably always will. P. Crow Armstrong of the Cubbies, PCA, he's got 34, but he's also, you know, hitting 8 home runs with 27 RBIs over that time span too. And then there's Newt with 31 strikeouts and only 8 walks. That is very un-Newtish, if I can call it that. That is not what we're used to. So if there's a guy in this lineup that really needs to get going, it's Lars Nootbaar at the top of the order there, because when he's on base, this team wins. And right now, he is not getting on base nearly enough. And, you know, it was pointed out to me, I hadn't really noticed it as much, but people are saying that he's been swinging at the first pitch a whole lot more instead of taking. And maybe because people, to combat his good eye, they're trying to get one over on him right away to put him behind in the count. Maybe that's something. So, you know, it's a chess match between the hitter and the pitcher a lot of times. So maybe that's what's going on. But either way, we would love to see Newt get back to doing the things he was doing earlier on in the season where, you know, when he was hitting doubles and stuff. And I'm not saying he's never going to be like a 280, 290 type of batter. Like, he's just not that guy. He's more of a 250, 260, 270 right in that spot. But the walks is where he really makes up for that with the on-base percentage, and it just hasn't been what he was doing earlier in the year, which was really, really nice. So hopefully we get him back. We get Victor Scott going again, and that'll really kind of amp up what this offense could be moving forward. We got the power rankings, and what is the most intriguing trade chip for the St. Louis Cardinals moving forward? That's coming up next on Locked On Cardinals. Have you ever decided that the last minute, you know what, I'm going to the ball game. I'm heading out. We're going with friends or family, and we're heading to Busch Stadium. Maybe it's game day, and you suddenly realize that I want to be there. I want to be in the stands. Weather looks good. Going to be a nice night at the ballpark. Cold beer, some friends and family. Get some Cardinal baseball in there. Why not, right? And that's exactly where GameTime comes in. They're going to help you out. They're the easiest way to grab last-minute tickets without all the stress. And with the money you save on tickets, that way you can splurge on other things like concessions and merchandise, or maybe you can even invite a bigger group to come with you. And GameTime can make that possible. They make buying tickets fast and simple. Prices on the app actually drop the closer you get to first pitch. And they've got incredible last-minute deals, clear seat views, and a lowest price guarantee that's going to take the worry out of buying. They are the official ticketing partner of Locked On MLB, making it easy to browse the app for an exciting upcoming MLB game, whether you've got this series against the Blue Jays. You know, the Cubbies are coming to town on June 23rd. You know that's going to be a hot ticket. That place is going to be packed, and you're going to want to be there. GameTime will have last-minute tickets and zone deals for big savings so you can get out there and see the Cards and Cubbies. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with GameTime. Download the GameTime app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code LOCKEDONMLB, LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download the GameTime app today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Thanks again for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the all-new Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, all season long. Get local analysis on a national scale. You can find MLB Game Night on Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcasts. I will be there hosting tonight if you want to come out and say hi. New MLB Power Rankings have dropped, and the Tigers remain at number 1. They've won 6 of their last 10. They got the best record in the league at 43-24. They are just a fundamentally sound team that, in all honesty, you know, it's kind of like when the Cardinals are winning, that's what they're doing. They're a fundamentally sound team. There is not I wouldn't say there's a superstar on the offensive side of that roster. Tarek Skubal, Cy Young Award winner, obviously he's incredible. So I get that. But as far as anybody else, Riley Green, Spencer Torkelson, I mean, these guys are good. Are they superstars? No, but it's a good team, and that's how they do it. And that's how the Cardinals have been able to do it so far this year. Cubs jump 1 spot from number 3 to number 2. They've won 6 of their last 10 as well. Seiya Suzuki, PCA, number 2 and 3 in RBIs in the National League. Heck of a 1-2 punch. They're going to be in Philly to start this week, and unfortunately for the Cardinals fans, they're going to see Philly at a really good time because Philly has been slumping big time. They're without Bryce Harper right now. So it's a prime time for a team to go play the Philadelphia Phillies. And unfortunately, that team is the Cubs, who the Cardinals are chasing in the NL Central. Mets go from 5 to number 3. They got the second best record in Major League Baseball at 42-24. Pete Alonso, the polar bear, has been amazing. Continues to mash. He's 301, 17 dingers, and MLB leading 61 RBIs. It's still hard to believe that he couldn't find a home this offseason, that nobody wanted to pay him the big bucks. I was mind blown while it was happening. Mets got him back, and they're going to have to pay him because they got him back, but he's going to want a bigger extension than what he's got right now. So they're at home against Washington beginning on Tuesday. The Yankees jump from 6 to 4. Judge pops 2 more home runs on Sunday night. He's tied with Ohtani for second in the majors behind Cal Raleigh of the Mariners, who has 26 already, which is crazy. The Cardinals as a team have 58 home runs. Cal Raleigh has 26 by himself. Cardinals aren't a home run hitting team, but it's just a funny stat. Dodgers drop from number 2 to number 5 after losing 2 of 3 to the Cardinals. Phillies go from number 4 to number 6. Thought they would drop a little more than that. Losers of 9 of their last 10. Padres stick at number 7. The Cardinals were at number 8. But they're not anymore. They actually fall to number 10. Got leapfrogged by the Astros and the Giants. The reasoning behind this, 2 frustrating series losses to the Rangers and the Royals had some wondering if their recent boom may have been an illusion. But then they followed up with a deeply fun, downright inspiring series win at home against the Dodgers with a pinch hit walk-off single from Nolan Arenado on Saturday, providing the biggest emotional boost. The Cardinals have had difficulty drawing crowds from a somewhat skeptical fan base this year, but the stands were booming this weekend. Do fans believe in this team yet? Because they probably should. MLB wrote that, not me, but it was nice to see the big crowds out there this weekend when the Dodgers were in town. Still had some good crowds while the Royals were there, but of course that was during the week. But things really picked up. Business picked up over the weekend with the Dodgers. Was also an interesting write-up on the Cardinals' most intriguing trade chip. I wanted to share that with you too. John Denton. So MLB did this where they talked to all the beat writers for each team, and each writer had to pick somebody from the roster that they thought was the most intriguing trade chip. And the Cardinals chip, according to John Denton, is Ryan Helsley, the closer. Mr. Helsley, Hell's Bells. Here's what he has to say about it. Cardinals explored the trade market for their two-time All-Star closer earlier last winter, but they pulled him off the market after the Yankees traded for Williams and the Phillies signed free agent reliever Jordan Romano. They aren't likely to do so again at the trade deadline, with Helsley about to hit free agency for the first time in his career this winter. Helsley, who was still holding out hopes of signing a long-term extension with the Cards, hasn't worked nearly as much this season as in 2024, when he set the club record with 49 saves, and that has affected his sharpness. Thus far, Helsley is 3-0 with a 3.52 ERA, and he's converted 13 of 17 save opportunities. However, his strikeout rate has fallen from 29.7% to 25.2%. His walk rate has climbed from 8.6 to 11.7. Could the Cardinals potentially package Helsley and veteran third baseman Nolan Arenado to a contender and a mega deal at the trade deadline? So, interesting, right? If the Cardinals stay in contention, which there's been no reason to think they're going to drop off so much that they won't be in contention, I think it's going to be really difficult to sell to the fans on trading those two guys away. But I understand the thinking and the logic behind it. I've said all along that the risk with keeping Helsley before the season was injury and production drop-off. He stayed healthy, which is great. But as Dent pointed out, the dude is far from a sure thing in that ninth inning. And you've heard me rant and complain about it on X plenty. Lots of base runners, either via hits or walks. It's just constant. There is always somebody on base against Ryan Helsley. And he's blown a couple saves recently because, like he pointed out, he's just not getting the strikeouts like he was, and he's walking too many dudes. So if someone does come calling, even if the Cardinals are in contention and somebody's like, yo, we need Helsley big time, and they want to fork over a decent exchange, I am pulling the trigger pronto on that. If you're not going to sign him to an extension, there is no need to keep him around. Because odds are he's not going to rebound and all of a sudden become better again. Maybe he will, but it's highly unlikely. The most likely scenario is he starts losing velo, and then he really becomes a worse pitcher. But some people will get desperate at the trade deadline and need somebody to, and he may not even be a closer for whoever goes to get him. He could just be a setup guy or something. That might be a possibility. But the other side of it is the Cardinals have to be thinking about who's going to fill that role. Who is the closer of the future for the Cardinals if they do move on from Helsley or trade him at the deadline or just don't sign him in the offseason? But I'm sure the Cardinals have already thought about that, right? Arenado, I'm sorry, but Nolan looks to be having fun. Look at this picture right here on YouTube. Nado looks like he's having a good time with his team right now. Of course, winning is a big part of that. And he'd also have to waive his no-trade clause. So it's really on him if he wants out or not. If he wants out, he might have thought about it this offseason, and if he wants them to explore things, I'm sure they will do that for him because they'd want to. It's the money. It's not the player that they don't like. It's the money. If they can move on from that money, they'll do it. But right now, they're winning. He's been a big part of that with some timely hitting and his outstanding defense at third base. Clearly, the clubhouse loves him. Fans love him. So, I don't know. We'll see. At the end, we'll see what happens in 2 months. But, Nada wants to win a ring. And I don't blame him. And is this Cardinals team as good as they played so far this year? Are they somebody who's really in competition for the World Series title this year at this moment? No, they're not. They're a good story, and they're playing very good. I'm enjoying every moment of it. But there are quite a few teams. Look at it. Power rankings got them at 10th. That's what MLB thinks of them. But there's 9 teams out there that are better than them right now. before making moves at the trade deadline. So just got to keep that in mind, right? Thank you for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. If you haven't already, give us a follow on X at @LO_Cardinals and at JD Sports Radio. TikTok and Instagram at Locked On Cardinals. Like, subscribe on YouTube. Help our channel and love for the Cardinals grow. You guys are the best fans in baseball for a reason. Let's get a winner. Let's go get a winner tonight. Let's win another series. I want to put my ugly, loud shirt on again. That was fun doing that against the Dodgers. You guys are the best fans in baseball. I'll see you next time on Locked On Cardinals.